Can't believe some of them, it's their debuts with the quality and the skill, and I've got to be honest, a lot of it is down to this man, Krusam.
So a very special guest here. Thank you very much for tuning in. The prelims underway. Krusam, your thoughts? I'm going to move this mic in just a little bit. Your thoughts so far on the proceedings? How do you see the fights? You got to be excited with everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to balance being in the changing room for my fighters and watching some of the fights at the same time. But it's been brilliant so far. The prelims have done us proud. Basically, good fights, as you can see. And I put challenging fights on, even for my fighters.
And that was what we wanted to talk about going into this. And for those of you watching that don't know, Krusam, you've got a bit of history behind what this platform was meant to be. It wasn't you as a promoter first, it was you as a competitor. Tell us a little bit about your history and how you came into being
Sure, no worries. I don't even really see myself as a promoter just at the moment. But yeah, the history is basically I've dealt in martial arts from very young age. I've dabbled in loads of different martial arts. I was on a personal journey to discover which martial arts was effective for combat, be it for on the streets for self-defense as well, because I grew up in a rough neighborhood, and then eventually it led me to Muay Thai KO gym, East London at that time. So I used to travel from South London to East London to train, and hence why you're seeing this eventually. As a fighter, in 2014, I became the Grand Unified World Champion at the Unified World Championships. As a veteran, having not fought for around 10 years, I got gold in gold in K1, gold in submission wrestling, and silver in the 9-man tournament MMA, all in the same tournament. And I believe it's never been done before in the history of World Championships at the Unified World Champion.
And so, Malcolm, we often talk about Krusam and his fighters. We know them for their Muay Thai, we know them for their kickboxing. What for you sticks out in their style? Krusam obviously has some slick tricks and some trademark tactics.
That's right.
Well, this is the thing I was going to say, Krusam. One of the things is we talk about house styles, but when you talk about KO Next Generation, they really seem to be following a pattern that you set. Is that really intentional? Are they do? I know we get freedom of expression, but you can always tell a KO Next Generation fighter.
Thank you. Yeah, they are using a unique style, which is actually my style, believe it or not. It's all the years behind the scenes that I was developing my style. I'm trying to translate it through the fighter, so to speak. So those that you see fighting on the lower levels at the moment, it's my fighters that I've trained to kind of try to pass it on to them, but they're not directly under me just yet. So the main fighters are spending more time with me, and they're trying to basically interpret my style, basically, which is deep rooted in martial arts in general, with a Muay Thai base.
But Chris and I aren't just talking about technique here and about a house style. When we talk to your fighters, when we see them after a show, when they maybe had a loss that we all think they've won, there's a philosophy as well. There's that we don't see showy big mouth fighters coming out of KO Next Generation. We don't see fighters that when they get a loss that they think they've won, storming out of the ring. Yeah. As a camp, your philosophy seems to extend beyond technique.
Yeah, you're spot on. The philosophy at KO Next Generation is very simple, basically. What's a champion without character? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, if you're a champion with a belt and you don't have character, what does it mean? Doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So basically, my philosophy is real martial arts. What martial arts is supposed to really mean? It's supposed to develop character, discipline, loving one another, all those things. So even if you lose with dignity. If you've lost, if you lost but you won, you still show dignity in the way you conduct yourself. And this is why I'm doing this as well. I'm trying to bring another aspect of the fight game, that we're not just brawlers trying to knock out each other. Some of us are actually just testing our skills because to perfect ourselves and hopefully defend our family if we had to. But it's not about bragging rights. It's not about knocking somebody out and screaming your head off. It's about the hours behind the scene that you're practicing to execute a particular technique.
And for me, one thing that also sticks out is the respect, the honor, the integrity, the type of character that you instill in your fighters. You have the same expectations from everyone on the show tonight. I know when you were going to design this show, you said, I'm not going to go out there and bring out a show where it's my guys versus other fighters who maybe I'd be more favorable against. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to put out the matchups at the highest level. I'm going to go out there and put out a platform that people are going to tune in to see international as well as local high-level competition. Tell us more about your vision and obviously how that stems from your own philosophy. philosophy as a coach.
Yeah, well, you're spot on, basically. You can see that this particular show is not a KO Next Generation versus the rest. It's anyone that wants to be a part of the show, anyone that wants to test themselves, so to speak. And as you can see from the earlier fights, you had two amateur girls who normally, they walk around about 49, 50 kg, who normally fight at 48 to 49 kg, fight 52, 51 kg girls that have had pro fights, so to speak. So the whole point is, even for my fighters, is challenging fighters. You can also see the judges here today are from neutral, different gyms, different sources. So it's basically everything is fair as far as I'm concerned. It's not about KO Next Generation winning all fights and the rest of it. It's about martial artists coming together, testing each other, and showing respect at the end of their fights as well.
And Malcolm, we've had a great time so far. Krusam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to be back on the stream in another intermission to talk a little bit more about what's coming up on the main card.
Sure.
So for those of you folks watching on the Facebook prelims, thank you very much. Let us know what you think. Hashtag KO Next Gen. Definitely let us know how you are seeing the fights tonight. And of course, make sure you tune in for the pay-per-view on the main card, exclusive and only on Fight. That's FITE. Get it on the app or on the web. We'll see you there. Chris Hoekstra, Malcolm Martin, Krusam.
That's right. You better not miss it.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Next Generation Combat. Chris Hoekstra, privileged to be with you folks tuning in live and exclusive on Fight here tonight. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, Malcolm Martin, and of course, our special guest, the head honcho himself, Krusam. Sam, an awesome preliminary card, but tonight, the big buildup has been all about that main card. Your thoughts on the proceedings so far tonight?
Yeah, so far, top fights, good fights. Happy with how it's going, but obviously it's now the main card. And it's time to rock and roll.
And this was always going to be built around an amateur base, but that big professional capstone. You wanted to feature guys who were going to come in and display world-class talent on your show. Tell us about how that went down.
I thought it went down well. I thought, the guys that were sort of had less fights than others proved themselves, and exactly what I wanted to prove in terms of if you train hard and you believe in your camp, you can step up and take up a good challenge.
And now this main card, though, is all about that local and international appeal. A couple of big fights. Malcolm, I'm going to pull you in. The co-main event, that's one of the ones that everyone's interested in. Your thoughts on that one?
Well, Chris, we were talking with Krusam earlier about what he's trying to achieve here, and we're talking about the challenges. Now, Howard Malone coming back, you said a 2-year layoff. For me, as a coach and as a promoter, the temptation would be a warm-up fight. You haven't done that. You've given him Sean Duran.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the KO Next Gen way, basically. Sean Duran is coming back from fighting 2 fights in Thailand. Trains at Jakapon Gym, good Muay Thai gym, good coaches over there. And Howard, however, in the past, he's fought up to British Thai boxing title. He's a former British champion. So he's been in the deep end. But it's just a matter of whether he can believe in himself and switch it on when he's in that ring. And after all, if I became a unified world champion after not having fought for 10 years, why can't my student do it in 2 years?
So really, this is a fight that's kind of about the old gunslinger versus the guy who's on the way up, a guy who wants to take that reputation and take that name. What do you see being one of the key stylistic things to watch out for in Durant versus Malone, Krusam?
Well, I think Duran is the sort of hungry lion. He's going to come in quite heavy-handed. He's short, stocky, and then you're going to get Mr. Howard, who's technical, and he has the Krusam style. So basically, watch out if Sean makes a mistake, he's going to be punished. If Howard gets overwhelmed by not being there for 2 years, Sean might overwhelm him. So it could go either way.
But the main event, this is the one that everyone's come out for tonight. One of the biggest fights in South London ever. Malcolm Martin, Wilker Barros is going to be taking on a very determined Marcus Powell. What do you see happening?
Well, Chris, we discussed this a lot beforehand, you and I, and we talked with Krusam as well. And one of the things that, when we talk about your philosophy, your belief, let's get one thing straight. They share an opponent, Nick Samways. Now, Nick, Chris and I commentated, beat Wilker. Marcus beat Nick, so what do? You put Wilker in with Marcus.
That's right.
There's the philosophy, I think, of the KO Next Generation.
That's right.
In a nutshell.
That's right. Yeah, you've said it all. I mean, after my guy's recent loss to Nick Samways. Good fight. He was edging it, I felt, and the last round he faded. But Marcus Powell absolutely dominated Nick Samways in an A-class fight. And what do? I put Wilker to test himself against Marcus Powell, a very experienced fighter. But this is what we do. This is Muay Thai. We feel this is our world, and we're going to put up a good fight.
And the thing is, it's an A-class fight, so everything goes. Both guys are really good in the clinch. They're both solid in-fighters. They're also technical on the outside. I've seen how serious Wilker has taken this camp. He said, look, I stopped everything for 6 weeks. This is all I did. Of course, Marcus, on the other end of things, also has a ton of international experience and is clearly really motivated coming into this. The right time, it's the right fight. What are the things you think the fans need to watch out for in this epic clash?
Yeah, exactly. A very, very technical fight from both fighters. Both good at all areas of the fight game. So it's just going to be a clash of styles, a clash of wills, clash of tactics. And yeah, so you're really, really in for a good fight. You know, even as a coach stepping to the side, this will be an intriguing match to watch for me as a fight fan anyway.
And so for everybody watching, newsflash, we've got more Next Generation coming this fall. Next Generation Combat, November 4.
November the 4th, yeah, will be our next one, Next Generation Combat 4.
And September 22 for the amateur show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've got an amateur circuit show on the 22nd of September, which is also a build-up to Next Generation Combat. And you will be having high-level amateur and some semi-pro A-class fights on there as well, for those that want to build themselves up and gain more confidence with elbow pads and stuff.
So there'll be Next Generation everywhere. It's going to be going down. Malcolm, a couple of closing thoughts from you. We've had a great time so far. The well-matched amateur fights, the highly competitive back-and-forth battles. How many times tonight did we see people win round one and then go on to lose the second and the third? Absolute three-round wars. How do you see it tonight so far, man?
This is the thing, Chris. What has excited me is the matchmaking, because this is not an element we've talked about, how keen matchmaking is. And that has been a key element for me tonight. And when you talk about good matchmaking, how many of those fights have been split or majority decisions because they've been so evenly matched and so well matched? Krusam, that's another element that we have to take a hat off to you tonight, because the judging has reflected how well the matchmaking has been.
Thank you. But as I said before, NGC is all about challenges and see who's the best out there. And may the best man win, and humble warriors at NGC.
Well, folks, that's about all from us at ringside. Chris Hoekstra, Malcolm Martin, and of course, Krusam himself. The first part of the show is in the books. The prelims, the undercard, our history. Coming up, though, the big main card. To everybody watching live and exclusive on Fight, great to be with you. We'll be starting in just a few minutes. Make sure you follow us online. KO Next Generation Gym. Of course, Next Generation Combat is the platform. You can catch us on your socials. Let us know what you think. Hashtag KO Next Gen. Let's get the action underway momentarily. We'll be right back in just a moment.